Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I am sharing with you 5 brand new Assetto Corsa car mods that you need to check out. We have some super cool stuff on today's list, from some fictional as well as semi-recent and historic racetracks, and some super cool classic and a little bit more modern road cars. Before we get into it though, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my second channel, JC Racing. If you want to see some broader sim racing content besides just Assetto Corsa mods, that will be your one-stop shop for it. You can find it down in the top link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get right on to the first mod on today's list, and that is going to be the Nurburgring 1995 to 2001. This is made by Shin. This is the Nurburgring GP circuit representing the F1 European GPs that were held there between 1995 and 2001. Your main thing here is going to be different sponsors around the track. The track layout itself didn't really change over the course of that time. It is a little bit different though, of course, to the current layout. Most notably, turn 1 isn't how it is now. It's just kind of a really big fast chicane back in the late 90s, early 2000s, which is definitely interesting to drive if you've never driven this layout of the Nürburgring GP circuit. 4.5 kilometers long. All of the tracks have 36 pits as well, so if you want to do some GT racing around here as well, you are more than able to do it. Of course, this is a conversion by Shin. He always does a fantastic job of bringing these tracks over to Assetto Corsa, no matter where they originate from, and this one is no different. I highly recommend you check it out on Shin's Patreon page in the description below. Next up on the list, we have the BMW M6 E36 SMG. This is a BMW M6 coupe from 2011. It has 502 brake horsepower, 528 newton meters of torque. It weighs 1,710 kilograms. This is, of course, a conversion to Assetto Corsa by MNBA. They do some fantastic work to bring some high-quality road cars over to Assetto Corsa. This one is no different. It is a pretty meaty car. It is powered by a V10 engine, so it has a very nice sound to it. Of course, it weighs a lot, so it's definitely no F1 car or anything like that, but being a kind of two-door coupe from the early 2010s, it is a pretty cool car. And if this is your thing, these kind of Euro coupes, then this is definitely going to be one to check out. You can find it on MNBA's Patreon page in the description below. Next up on the list, we have Mountain Ring Circuit. This is, once again, another conversion by Shin. This track was originally made in R Factor, and it is a fictional circuit, of course, set in the Austrian mountains. And it is quite a simple layout, but one that is very beautiful, with the mountains pretty much surrounding the whole track, but also the fact that it is just very high speed, so pretty much any kind of racing you would want to do around here, you're probably able to do, maybe besides like F1 and things like that. But you know, some of your lower tier Formula and GT cars definitely would be quite a bit of fun around here. I think there's definitely some charm in this layout simplicity. It's 4 kilometers long. It has a both with chicane and without chicane version. There's a chicane on the kind of northeast corner of the track, so if you want to just have it be straight into kind of a fast sweeping right-hander, then you can have that layout as well, depending on what you're driving. It has 28 pits, so again, any kind of lower Formula and GT grids I think would go absolutely great around here, and overall it is a very cool track. Definitely, at the very least, cool for some screenshots. You can find this one down in the link in the description below. Next up on the list, we have a super cool classic road slash race car. This is the 1995 Mercedes 300 SLR. This is a mid-1950s GT car, and man, it is very, very fun to drive. I don't get to drive these cars very often, but when I do, I always have a smile on my face. 306 brake horsepower, 317 newton meters of torque. It weighs just 900 kilograms. This thing was originally made by a few different creators, I believe, but this major kind of overhaul to the car is made by SH427 over on Race Department. In his download, there is an original link to get the base car itself, as the download you're going to get from Race Department is just kind of the updated files that you need to get his kind of patches and things like that working. But once you get it, this is a very, very fun car to drive. If these kind of, you know, very post-war race cars are your thing, then definitely one to add to your collection. If you like sliding around on those bicycle tires, you're going to really enjoy this one. You can find it down in the link in the description below. The final mod on this list is going to be one that is immediately recognizable if you watched F1 at all during the early 2010s. This is the Valencia Street circuit. This was the home of the European GP for a few years. It was a street track in the city of Valencia in Spain. Nowadays, it's completely abandoned, and it's kind of sad, but also kind of interesting to see what a modern day F1 street track looks like when it's been completely just destroyed and abandoned and everything like that. But regardless, here in Assetto Corsa, we have the power to turn back the clock, and this is an extension as well made by Pyre. The extension is paid. I am using that extension here in this video, but the link down below is to the base circuit. It looks good on its own, but I highly recommend the Pyre extension. I'm using the actual 2012 sponsors around the track. There's also a Bring It Back one if you want some more modern F1 sponsors back on the track, but that's never going to happen, so I decided to just rock it with how it was in 2012. A very interesting layout, definitely a little bit clunky in some parts, but I would say it's pretty unique and an interesting piece of F1 history to drive here in Assetto Corsa. You can find it down in the link in the description below. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy this video, a like and a sub would mean a lot. Thank you all so much for your support and bearing with me over the lack of content over the last little bit. I'm still trying to rev back up into gear here, so expect a lot more coming on this channel and some stuff coming out on JC Racing as well. And if probably a month or two, I'm probably going to make a kind of channel update, and I'll have some interesting announcements, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. Again, probably won't be till like April or something like that, but I do have some cool things I want to share with you guys. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.